Hmm. I feel like I'm stitching me. Whatever. Also, I feel like I need to do some stuff with my cold brew setup a little bit, maybe at some point. I've installed the LSPs, so now everything's looking a lot better. I've got lots of stuff in the work. I think I'm just about at affiliate. We shall see. So, yeah. We shall see how things go. And all that stuff. So, yeah, now I have the LSPs up and running, so I have actual proper fucking you're doing shit wrong notifications, things like that. I mean, I could do window.w equals w, window.height equals height. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's some stuff there, right? So, one of the things we could think about is, yeah, we get the iText, the instructions, and all that. So, what do we have here? We have, oh. Got that stuff, and now we can do. Now we can figure out a few things, right? Because we could do billboarding, but I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do billboarding in particular, right? Because the main thing is the point of friction is not knowing where you have been. And that is something that I think I would want to so that is also something that's very difficult to figure out, right? Because I can't necessarily do a flood field. And I wouldn't necessarily want to do it, right? I like subtlety. But I also don't exactly know what else it is, though. So, let's take a look at the Screen. So that's the fog. I think I want epsilon to be 1 minus d times 8 times d times 8. D divided by 8 times d divided by 8. This is the actual scale. So here, yeah. 1 minus fog, float do static, right? Noise for... let's do a little bit of an epsilon. Float epsilon is equal to d divided by, let's do 4 eps times equals eps eps equals clamp eps 0 1 fuck. Flat. Yeah, that's where is it? There we go. Fuck. Eps. Nonde. Yeah, that is like not fucking working at all. I don't get it. There we go. So this is actually reversed? Oh, right. This is reversed. Which means... Nonde. Yeah. Okay. So we do actually just... There we go. Now that is very fucking close. That's super close. I don't think I like that. Right? That looks like dog shit. Got that dog. I do need to work towards getting the releases done. So I need to release for Linux and Windows. Technically Macintosh would also work, but not. So. I also need to redo the file structure. Right. Because like I want to like completely restructure the file structure, right? I want to have. I also want to take a look at the git ignore, release the leading thing, the leading doobly doo with the doobly doo. Have the SRC, and then have the other stuff. so that the notes and all that stuff doesn't get packaged in with everything else. They don't necessarily need to be releasing that, right? That doesn't need to be packaged in. And it currently is, right? Because the entire Git repository is being packaged and released, and that doesn't need to be a thing. What the fuck? Thank you. Xord. So we have. That looks really good. I mean, I can make it even smaller. Half that width, maybe. Make it just a touch more subtle, because right now that's all the same width. I could go up to the bricks. Minus interesting. So, what do we see here? That is a lot more subtle, and that is literally can't fucking see it. That is too subtle. Interesting. So, we do something, I don't know, in between. 48. Alright. It's a little bit nicer. That's still really crisp, right? Still really sharp. I don't know if I like that more. See, this is a lot nicer. Because it's still noticeable, but it's not in your face. The other ones were too small. The other ones were a little bit too small. So here, we just have it be just enough. Just enough. for it to just enough for it to actually matter, right? So it's like noticeable, but it's not like obnoxious, right? Which is something that we want. So now, one of the things that we could do is we could say for every cell, because we have if the cell that we hit is full or not. Right. And then we can also do the SDF of that. I think. Let's see. Is this a good distance? Yeah, I think this is a good distance. I think this is like a really good fall off distance. Because it basically makes for sharp. Right at the very end, right? And I feel like that's a good thing. Even though, like, value-wise, it's no different. Right? But, like, conceptually, because there's a gradient in the intensity of the static, yeah. So, because there's also getting to the world eater, the consumption. That is also something that we want to do. I kind of want to go into. Oh, I don't think I have Audacity. Yeah, I don't think I have Audacity yet. So there's. Because I don't know what kind of. I mean, mainly this is just, can I make things render properly? That's largely what I'm focused on. Is can I make rendering, can I do the render to show the draw pixels gooder? Right? Is that something that I'm capable of? Can I draw the pixels? So here we have a little bit of a thing. Because, like, there's also whether or not so again, it would be nice if I had a few other systems, because I think having a table like a plant or something would be really fucking nice. That'd be really good. So, how do we do that? Could do some billboarding. I don't know how I feel about billboarding though. Right? Especially for a table. The thing's on the table. However, I could do that. Right? That's pretty easy to do. I could do. I mean, there's also. Alright, so there's. Um, I'm gonna do the okay. So we have an SDF. Um, the SDF is literally the point P, right? It's clamp. Clamp, right? It's fucking what is it? Because what we could do is we could say like at d dot x y z, right? What we could do is we could like it because it'd be like the minimum of all that shit, and then we can do like a multiply between them. Because what we have is like the main thing is that we want to have the cells in the as like a differential, right? Because that's literally all that matters. And we can super easily clear up a lot of stuff. So d dots x y z is equal to, right, x is the distance to the x, and is the x distance. So well, I mean, because what we could do is we could say d dot xy is equal to Well, so you need to have a near, right? V2 near is equal to clamp P C min C. Well, I mean, I guess it just cell and cell plus one. Right? Um, and then you just say d dot xy is equal to d dot xy. Minimum of d dot xy. Hello. Oh, hello. Thank you for follow. Hi. Hello. Awesome. I'm not entirely sure if you're here. But if you are, then cool. If not, then it's whatever. Hello. Hello. So dxy, and then we have, what else? Yeah, dxy, and then it's the, well, I mean, it's the distance between near and point. Between near and P. Right? Z is always going to be minimum of C height minus UVT dot Z. UVT dot Z. So it's gonna be that. Alright. And then this is wrapped up in a doobly-doo with the doobly jam. Right? Like this is managed because, you know, it's a 4. Each of the 4 cells that we actually give a shit about. Alright? Because we will be splitting it up into 4. Because doing it this way allows us to split the points up, right? Because what we do is we have, as long as it's not the same, as long as they're not equal. Yeah. And this will also automatically skip the same cell. Right? Because then it doesn't matter. And then if... Because what we could do is we could just say d vec3d is equal to vec3 1, and for min max, right? Right. We just do that. I think this is somewhat going to be the ideology that we could do. Because if we do it this way, right? If we do it this way, then what we could do if we do it this way, then yeah. Because I don't think there's a round function. I don't think there's a round function in, I mean, not in GLSL 2.1, like 1.2 or whatever. Whatever Love2D uses, it is too old. It's before the round function. So I think I have to do like a minus a half then 4, right? And that's fine. So one of the things I can say is that if it is the same, then I just continue. Right? I like break or continue or whatever. Because that's fine. Right? Like that's more than okay. But yeah, like GLSL will fully unroll for loops. And every single individual pixel executes the full, like it all gets executed regardless. And it's just if the changes it just does some extra stuff to it. So it's still being calculated for every single pixel. Every single pixel is still calculated. Asterisk, not quite, but close enough. Right, you can think of it as that. There is always going to be some overhead. If the code can be executed, the code will be executed. Right? The only time that code is not executed in GLSL is if it is fully unreachable by all fragments. If it is provably unreachable by all fragments, that's the only time that's not. Right? Yeah. If it is provably unreachable by all fragments, then it is not executed. I might be doing... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really like that. Like, there's a lot of things you can do with the way that GLSL handles things. Because there are... Like, there are certain things that are Like there's yeah, just like the way that like the memory is actually managed under the hood is pretty complicated. Um, and I'm gonna be kind of sort of borrowing some of those ideas for tungsten. So I don't know. Something to think about. So this is the kind of thing that we want to do. All right, min max. Min is equal to cell ISO minus 0.5. Right. So yeah, we have that. So we could do a min max. Right. For min.x plus 1, min.y plus 1. And it's like a less than or equal to. That way it'll actually loop through both of them. Right. And do the full calculations of everything. So I think we do that. So interesting. Ooh, I could do that. Interesting. So I don't think this is gonna quite work. Because of the distance. That's a float. And it's not. Right. Like, it's not exactly what we want. So what is it that we want? Right. Because the outside hooks. The outside corners are going to be a pain in the ass. I mean, we could do x plus y. We could do x plus y. X plus y gives us an S gradient out, like towards the outside edge. Like that'll just knock the harsh outside corners, which is largely what it is that I wanted to knock anyway. Right? So hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is still gonna not work very well. So how... What do we want here? Which is what we want. So we want... It might be something a little bit different. So we have the three kind of combinations. Because we have the average. All right, we have the average of these two. For this outside corner. Like, and these gradients should be effectively the same. Right? Like, across the board, it should be effectively the same. So, like, this distance, and this one, right? These three vectors. So the x, d dot x, is equal to the max of the diff dot x, right? I do believe, right? Because that is going to be these guys. So okay. Because this 0 messes everything up. Oh, but these two are going to be the same. Regardless, because it's only different. It's only differences. That y is equal to the max of diff dot y. So we calculate near, we calculate near, we calculate the difference, or we just do near, and we just do point minus clamp point cell plus 1, right? Because we can just do the same corner and just offset by 1. And we only do this if that is different than the hit cell. Right? Yeah, p dot z. Right, so we have that. Okay. So if we have these, then I think this is the proper way, right? Because you have the min, the distance, and then you do a for loop across these 4 regions. Right? And then in the very end, you can multiply them together. Because I think that will give you the correct answer, right? Almost. Because if we actually set it to 0, instead of this be 1, if we actually set it to 0, then that'll be a lot easier to manage. Right. Mm. So because we want it to actually be 1 if they're all empty. If they're all the same. If all sides are the same, we want it to be 1. Interesting. All sides are the same, we want it to be equal to 1. But if all sides are the same, it's going to be equal to 0. We want it to be 1. So then how do we inject this logic, right? Because this is the real logic. Because it's the difference. Right? So we need to have the diff, right? The diff is equal to p minus near. And then d xy is equal to there we go. Problem solved. Right. Something like that. Because if they are all the same, if they're all the same for effectively But under. Wait. No, that's correct. And to properly do the SDFs, it is 0. I mean, it's minimum. To properly do the SDFs, it is minimum. So I could do. I mean, I could just do the difference. Right, but we can't, yeah, we can't separate. That's fucking weird, dude. Because I need orthogonal separation in order to have per plane distance fields. Right? Because the issue, right, if you don't understand what I'm saying, which is perfectly fine, because we have, because we have a full 3D space, right? Right? If we have something on the ground, then z is equal to 0. If we have it on the wall, right, this wall, because we have, what is it, x, y, z, right here, y is equal to 0. And if we have a spot here, then x is equal to 0. Right? That's kind of the big issue here. And that is the issue that we're trying to. And not only that, but we also need to resolve it from the standpoint of it being 0. Alright? Like, how do we override it? Because the moment that it hits one of these vertical or horizontal ones, it's going to snap down to 0. So we want the maximum. But that also means that if they are all the same, then the distance is 0, and that's not what we want. We want the distance to be 1. Right? Because the floor plane. And also the wall plane. Right? Because if the two walls if the two walls are the same, right? Then we want the distance between them to be 1. Right? Because effectively what we're saying is that this is not an edge. Because what we're trying to find is the distance to the nearest edge. So if there is no edge, how do we, manage that? Okay, I know what we do. So, effectively what we can do is that this side of things, right? We do want the maximum of these, right? Want the maximum. But what we want is what we do is we do like a temporary thing, right? Because we could say we have one be 1, the other one be 0, I think, or one be 0, one be. Because what we could do, well, actually, what we could do is we could start this off as -1, right? We can start this off as -1, and then we can still do the maximum stuff because it's never going to be negative. And then we just multiply by the sign. And then we just take the absolute value of it at the end. Alright. Problem solved. So why does this work? No matter what, regardless of what happens, it's always going to be like it's always going to check. But so we know for a fact that because if they are what we want to do right? Because what we want to do is that if C cell is equal to I cell, we want that, right? If cell equals I cell, then we continue. We break out. Yeah, because it's 4 cell I cell. Um, right, 4 cell min max, min plus 1, then do all this shit. Alright. Cell height, right, all that stuff. And then we could just take the absolute value of D, bit bam bam, problem solved, right? So the reason why this works is because no matter what happens, if there is any valid distance, it's going to be greater than -1, right? Because the minimum that the absolute minimum that any distance can possibly be is 0, right? So it needs to be that, and then you can do other stuff. So the problem comes right, x plus y minus 1, I think, is what we could do. Right, x plus y minus 1, I think. Because if one of them is 0, well, if one of them, it's not gonna work. Because I don't think the edges are gonna work. I mean, we can multiply them all together or something. Some shit. Or whatever. Right. Something. And again, I want the roundness. I want the roundy woo. Because I think this is just going to be a more elegant and more flexible way of handling forms. But let's do a little bit of a implementation of this first. And then see where it breaks, right? Because I suspect that this is going to break. Yeah, the get edge distance. So we key in ints. I still have no idea why the fuck it's not working properly. I fucking hate how it does that. That works. Okay, fucking whatever. Because that does work properly. Right? I just don't like doing it that way. But it's fucking whatever, I guess. I just don't understand why that became the preference. I mean, I guess it does visually group functions together, but I swear that like more and more just people aren't writing readable code. Like, who fucking cares if it's readable? It just needs to run. I don't need to read it. I just need to run. Fucking whatever. Readable and understandable code is incredibly fucking important. So, what is it that we're actually trying to do? First, we have vec3d because get dist 2, get edge dist 2. We have a lot of logic kind of abstracted out of this function. Right. Cause it's like, oh, hey, do, like, if it's a fill, then you do yada 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 yada. Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what I did there. Basically making it so that if it is filled in, and, yeah, like this logic is hard to follow. It sucks. It's bad. Right? It's fucking dumb shit. So we have a vec2 I vec2 min cell is equal to I vec2 uvt dot xy minus 0.5. I do believe that works. Sunday. Alright. We got min cell, we got a vec3 d is equal to vec3 minus 1. And then we do a for loop. Int x int cx cx less than or equal to L.x plus 1 cx plus cx plus plus, thank you very much. For int cy in cell.y, cy less than or equal to in cell.y 1 plus k. Effect 2, T cell. Interesting. Anyway, so here we have the T cell. We could do is IVEC 2 CXCY, right? Oh, fuck. Ow. Ugh. Stretch, everybody stretch. Everybody stretch. Come on, everybody. Everybody stretch. Stretch, stretch. Stretch, stretchy. Okay, so we have that. And then it is a Vec 2. Oh, right. Probably don't need this. I mean, I shouldn't need it, I should say. But I'm gonna say it anyway. It's the get. And also, why is there no completions? Because I feel like there should be some pop-ups and completions. Why aren't there? Because I set up all the LSP stuff. H split new. Wait, what? Interesting. Oh, space-wise a thing. No configured language supports document symbols. Interesting. I mean, now I just have, like, okay. I mean, I don't know what is I'm supposed to do with that, but okay. I mean, cool, I guess. I don't know how to use this fucking thing. I don't know how to use Helix yet. I'm still getting used to the entire workflow. I just like its command structure. I'm making silly I'm making fewer navigation mistakes. Because like with Neovim, I was making a fat stack of navigation mistakes. And it's just mostly because of the grammar. Right, the movement grammar. And command grammar is like not very good. So yeah, it's kind of a colossal pain in the ass. So yeah, that is equal to that. Right. Because I need to get the T cell, and then I need to check what the T cell is. So if it is the same, and what the fuck's it called? Get color, create text. Yeah, get color is a get cell. Alright, wall text is in test text. Weird. Yeah, I get cell. Okay. Because we have the get cell too, which we actually don't care about. Yeah, capital get. So, I'm still not entirely sure why the fuck it's not working for this GLSL. I have to think about that. Because it says that it's fine, like it says that it can find it. Right? It's just like not actually snagging anything. You know? So, I don't know. It's fucking weird, dog. Weird, yo. So, yeah. Wait, what's the signature on that? Int. Okay. So I could say if... Okay. So int... cval is equal to get cell if C val is equal to get cell T cell continue. Otherwise, let's do some stuff. Right. Let's do the do with the doobly do and the doobly j. So what exactly is it that we're doing? We've already set the distance to -1. Now we're in the shit. So, vec2 near is equal to clamp UVT plus cell vec3 UVT vec2, okay, so xy plus cell, and this is T cell T cell plus that should be fine. That should work. The diff vec2, well, vec2 diff is equal to UVT dot xy plus cell minus near. D dot xy is equal to the max of D dot xy and diff. D dot z equal to the of UVT dot z. Cell height. And then D equals absolute value of D. Then return D equals absolute value of D. Okay, so then you see D. D is equal to D dot YZX D dot ZXY return D at right. I mean, this is probably super, like, this is probably turbo broken. Hello! Sorry, I was, not paying attention. How you doing, Koo? Koo. Co-op. Yes, that's how you pronounce, That's how you pronounce the second part of your name. It's definitely Coop. Coop instead of co-op. How you doing? Da. He went in developer, and we's about to find out. No, I am not. Eval undeclared identifier. Nunde. If cval, int cval. Oh. Do that. God damn it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. We got some level of progress. That's good. Interdastic. Nunde. Let's do let's do the minimum of d dot yzx d dot zxy. And blanketed. So it's kind of working here. It's working on the bottom just fine. I mean, my computer's about ready to fucking take off. Which is great. Yeah. Wait, you have a dash in your username? I mean, you don't have a dash in your username. Interesting. Oh. So... So it's working on one end. Did I do a dumb? Did I do a dumb? Did I do a dumb? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué, mi amigo? ¿Por fucking qué? Qu'est-ce que c'est? So it's very directional, which is weird. There we go. Fuck. Wait, why is... None? Eh? Eh? Oh. Artemis crashed? Huh. I was unaware. That shit fucking sucks. I mean, fucking maybe don't run Windows in a fucking spaceship. What? I don't get it. Artemis crashed into the ocean. Astronaut in the ocean. I don't understand. I don't get it. What the fuck am I doing wrong? And why is it working on some locations and not others? That's not accurate. Let's do... Okay, so it's still... okay. Still fucking broken. ¿Dónde? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? I don't understand. Why, So it is working on the wall itself, which is fine, but it's not working up here. It's not working... literally anywhere fucking else. Not working on the walls. It's not working on the floor, it's not working on the ceiling. Fucking why, though? I don't get it. Why is this shit not working at all? It's like trying to work. ¿Por qué, mi amigo? Why are you not fucking working? Okay, well, I fixed the top part. I'm a dumb fuck. So why is... minimum? Why is the X being Why is the X and the Y so fucking big? Yeah, pretty much. It's a pretty accurate assessment, so that's... ¿Por qué? Why? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? Okay, that's fine. Why is it not? It's kind of fixing it, but it's still... So this is along the X plus side and the Y plus side, but only while X and Y are 0. Because the cell is 0? My... The floor... Okay. Same thing. Monday. ¿Eh? ¿Por qué? Wait, hold on. So why is it? These should not be black. The floor and the ceiling shouldn't be black. So why is it? My expectation is that the floor and the ceiling would not be black. Right. Also, how the hell this is even fucking possible? I don't understand it. Is this a directional thing? It is a directional thing. Interesting. So in the... Let's do something a little bit more, idiomatic, shall we? Let's do, vec3 e is equal to uvt plus cell. Alright. Oh. This is why. Because your girl's a dumbass. So I didn't quite need to do all that wibbly wibbly come from my booty. And now this is probably gonna not work at fucking all. Ah. Yeah. Gotcha. No, I could do plus equals. So. Right, because I can make point P equals UVT and then point X, then point XY plus equals so. Right. Because then here I could do P dot Z, cell height minus P dot Z. right? And then all that shit would work properly. This should is the operative word, and it does not clamp. Left hand const float to temp 2. Const float. Okay, where's that going for? Where's the clamp? Where's the clamps? What? Nande. P dot x y. Clamp. The p dot x y total diff is p dot x y minus near. T cell plus 1. Yep. Because your girl's a dumbass. Okay, so interesting. ¿Por qué? Why is that literally the only spot? Strange. Okay. That's not going to change anything. Yeah, it's going to do absolutely nothing. Oh. Nani? Eh? Why? Also... nothing past anything else. What the fuck? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué no respuesta? ¿Por qué ella es muerta? What the fuck? Okay. This should be something interesting. Okay. So this whole thing is just fucking bright as fuck. ¿Por qué? Why? Why? Why is it uber bright? Like, what? How is that a thing? Okay. So the walls are getting brighter. These two walls are the same, basically the same brightness. And that is much brighter. Yeah, okay. So that side of things is working. Blah blah blah. Hmm. These bricks look great. Bricks look fucking great. And bricks are incredible. Oh, the bricks came out so good. I don't know if I want them a little bit smaller though. I mean, the bricks did come out very well. So, hmm. Okay. So the position should be working properly. Because we have the UVT within the sun. And we have the sun. How in the fuck? Okay. Oh, fuck. Mm. Okay. Okay. London. Why is it all... Why the fuck? So the rooms are fine? It's just as soon as it hits a wall, it just fucking has a stroke. And what's up with the walls not detecting when... Right. But external walls should be detecting. And this is not, and this is never going to detect interior walls. Interior corners. Ah. But it's also not detecting exterior corners either. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, look, I fixed it. So that's frustrating. Gotta get a more elegant way of doing this, though. That's the thing that's fucking frustrating. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Like it's working. I'm not happy with it because like it's really sharp. I don't like how sharp it is. Alright, like it's super sharp. It doesn't even fucking work there. Uh, with the get wall distance. Mm-hmm. God, I did this so stupid. Fuck. Uh, yeah. Still, Uh, okay. 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 Let's buckle down. So what all do we have here? So we have kind of like the main thing is that I want to figure out how I can, for one, encode that a table exists, right? And for two, encode where the table exists, right? Because I want to make a table. So, how do you make a table? Now, most other people are like, "Oh, just use a mesh." Yeah, I'm not using mesh. I don't have mesh, right? I don't have meshes. Because I kind of want to do like, so I kind of want to have like all right. A plant kind of thing, right? So, I want something along these lines. You be sitting there, we have this be colored in. Right? But I mean, this whole thing is gonna be black and white anyway, so I don't know. Right? So like even the potted plant's gonna be black and white. So how the fuck is that gonna work? Right. But the main thing is that we have, a table. So how do we render this? So largely. Well, so there's this kind of table, and then there's the pedestal table. Right. And the pedestal table is the one that's like, if you're looking at it from the side, you know, it looks like this, something like that. But I think this kind of table is the kind of table that we would expect to see. How the fuck do we pull that off? So for one, we need to find out if like mm, um okay. So what kind of thing is all this gonna be, right? Like what kind of so we need hitting this is gonna be easy, right? Because I could put something that's like if I mean let's first look at the DDA algorithm. So what is it that we're looking for? Stop if hitting floor or ceiling. Okay, cool. Check the cell. If get cell is equal to 1. Break. Which means we're explicitly checking to see if it is 1 and only 1. Right. So we could take a look at the get cell function because I think it's here. Yeah. Cool. So we would have to do what exactly? What happens if we do this? Still work? It still works, so it is exactly equal to 1. Good to know. I'm not getting any pass-through or anything like that. So that is good. So what's the those are pretty damn close. Interesting. Very close together. I mean, they're all going to be very close together. The width is very, very narrow. So I'm not too surprised. I could probably increase that. Question mark? I don't know what I can't remember what kind of leeway I have. It's not very wide. The bricks are going to be mostly the same size, right? And that's fine. Like I'm okay with them being extra subtle. The width of the bricks, like I kind of want the bricks to be largely subtle. Right? I don't want the bricks to be too crazy and too self-evident that they're, you know, chaotic and whatnot. Because bricks are bricks. Like, bricks are, generally speaking, very consistent, right? So I think having something along those lines is fine. I'm not super happy with the yeah, boat noise. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. But what about the get color? Is it in the get color? I think it's in get color. So in here we have the minimum. Alright. I think what we want to do here is that we want to say times. Because like the two corner and the colors, we have all these. Alright, alright. So we have these. So alright. Oh. I like didn't even notice any difference. See, this is a lot more interesting, right? To me, at least. Because it's multiplied, that looks more like a drop shadow than cutting into him. And, like, I'm okay with that. I'm, like, shading because it's not affecting the actual, it's not affecting, like, the full shape of it. Like, this is becoming like an overlay. Right? And that's cool. I could do additive. Alright, because we could do plus. Like that's like super blown out shit. That looks like Garbo. Right? It's all like additive and stuff. So that's not super great. But it does give a very interesting effect here. Right? It's a very interesting effect. What I could do is this, right? Because if I take the average of the two, then we get this. Which again is very washed out and not very. Like this isn't. This is not what we want. Right? Because we basically either want. Could do this. Right? Divide by. Yeah, this is... Ooh! Oh, that looks fucking cool, though. That looks really sick. That looks really fucking cool. This is the coolest one. Like, it's wrong. It's incorrect. But that shit looks fucking cool, dog. Like, that's cool. Because, like, one of the big things I want to do is I want to do HDR. Right, I want to do HDR. I would really like to do HDR because then you can actually have, like, these glowing things and stuff like that, right? Because we have, like, these infinitely bright doobly-doos with the doobly jams and all that shit, right? So, like, all of these corners are now emissive. This is a really cool effect. I'm super digging it. It's not what we want, right? Where's the get color? Yeah, the two corner here, right? Times what? 32 could do that. We can have much thinner lines, right? Much thinner doobly jams with the doobly doos. I think 16 is probably gonna be the sweet spot there. Right. Yeah. Because like this looks really cool. This is like a full outline of right. Which I think is super neat. Like this looks fucking cool. This shit right here looks really cool. I am very much digging it, right? It's like part of. There's something about it, right? Like just something about this is really fucking cool. Because it's like emissive, and I like the emissiveness of it. Again, it's wrong. This is incorrect. Right. But it is rather neat, right? Yeah. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Yeah. There's also yeah, because like this emissiveness is really kind of cool. Some things to think about. All right, because again, like I really want to do the emissiveness. I want to do HDR. I want to do emissiveness, but the math behind HDR is not fucking trivial, right? Because we are taking because like HDR rendering is right, like HDR, high dynamic range, right? What we are effectively doing is we're mapping. Well, we're mapping 0 to infinity to 0, 1. Right? I mean, I guess we could just have it included here. Right? We're mapping 0 to infinity to 0 to 1. And the curve of that is metered by the and like the curve of this, the gamut curve is mediate the level is is managed by epsilon, by exposure, right? So what is it like? Right. How the fuck do you draw epsilon? It's like something like that. Because it's like something along these lines. I don't know. I don't do Greek letters. Except for like sigma. I like sigma. So, and also like this is like most like because it's mostly like a 1 minus e to the it's 1 minus e to the It's 1 minus e to the b. Oh, it's 1 minus e to the negative b. It's 1 minus 1 plus e. 1 plus e to the negative b. There we go. It's 1 minus 1 plus e to the negative b. Where e is exposure and b is brightness. Right. These are things that we can mess around with. Because effectively what we could do is we can tune these values, right? Right, like this is tunable. This is kind of tunable, right? But what's really cool about this is that we can just keep on adding. We can just keep on adding brightness, adding brightness, adding brightness, adding brightness, shit like that, right? And then, like, yeah, like it's really cool. So yeah, so that's like something that we could do. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we have this. E, yeah, it's 1 minus 1 plus e to the minus b. I mean, this is a way of mapping it. I don't think this is the actual correct way of mapping it. Because just like effectively what happens is very, very large values end up collapsing very quickly. And I think another way of doing it is you effectively swap them, right? This is one way. The other way is it's 1 minus 1 plus b to the minus e. Right. And both of these are going to have slightly different. Right, and both of these are going to have slightly different results. I mean, that's something that we could do. But that would also mean that we have an exposure meter, and monitor the exposure and stuff, right? So like that's the thing. There's also like the idea of it of like overexposure, yada 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 things like that. Because the brightness is the color value, right? So B, right? So B is equal to color, right? So we can either have 1 minus 1 plus e to the power of color, or we could have 1 minus 1 plus color to the minus exposure. Right, and both of these are things that we could play around with, check up on, see what we like, because like I kind of like the idea of having like emissiveness, and other neat things, right? And again, like having this looks fucking cool. This is look cool. This look cool. It's really fun to like play around with and see what kinds of dials and knobs and stuff that you could do. Like, because I could also do like I can also make like a config and stuff. Which it could like read from and stuff, but I don't really know if that would be like something that I could do well or what, right? The emissiveness is really cool. I like the emissiveness. The emissivity is really neat and stuff. Because it makes it like really difficult to miss things. Right? These are like emissive textures now. The collision is super robust. You know how I know that the collision is great? Nobody has said a fucking word about the movement. No one has said a fucking word about the movement. Like, at all. Right? Like, they're not talking about the movement. They're not talking about the... they're not noticing the... Like, I think a big thing about it is that, like, a lot of it is just like, oh, like, just tell me what you notice, right? Because if you notice something, then, like, because if it's just like a list of things that they notice and how it makes them feel, right? Then those are those are information points, right? If all that you say is what you notice and how you feel about it, right? Then these are things that can be tweaked and changed and either leaned into, right? Either something that you lean into and double down into it, right? Or something that you like move away from, because like the player input is like player input is something that can be really difficult to uh can be something that's like really difficult to nail down properly. Like in a way that's meaningful. Right. So here, like the things that we've noticed is that um the player gets bored easily. Right? Like I've noticed that when Otter plays this versus when Otter plays a lot of the other games that have been, frequent, um, he kind of gets bored of this a lot faster. And that's because it's just sandboxed, right? It's a sandbox, no sand and no tools, right? Like how long are you gonna sit in a sandbox and do nothing for before you get bored and want to move on to the next thing? And that's something that's fine, right? That is something that is, that's something that's fine. I do need to tweak the audio a little bit more. I need to um, figure out if there's a way that I can make it so that it is more interesting to um, because there might be an argument for setting. Well, let's do something. So we have color. We have color 2. Color 2. Okay, so we have the noise and the static and all that shit, right? So one of the things that we could do is we can say color is equal to 1 minus power, pow 1 1 dot plus color E. We can say E. We can say 2. Right. Mm-hmm. Nancy. Because if E is 0, then that's it. Right? That is dunzos. No mas. No mas. It's done. If it's negative, then it goes all the way down to negative and just clamps out. Right? So here we have, we have these things, and then we can also do this. Fuck. Loat. Horse. No, yeah, we're just gonna call it loat. Yeah, because that's a keyword. It'd be nice if I could actually spell things. Mm-hmm. Nande. So this is this kind of exposure, right? Which everything is like a lot brighter, which is nice. Let's do the proper um the proper color, get color, right? Where's the get color? That's the get edge distance. Get edge distance 2. Wait, where the fuck is get color? Eh? Nande? それは何ですか? What? Eh? Oh. Okay, okay, okay. Hmm? Fuck the what? Yeah. Yeah. So we could do this, and then what we can do is we can say, and then what? Yeah. So this is a lot nicer, right? So we have a higher exposure. And then all the way down at the bottom, we can make it a lot more moody, right? And we can make it way more. Right, like this is like way too bright. Right, this is enormously bright. But the fall off is fast. Right? But like the overall curve of how the light is interpreted is different. So having this exposure, because this is effectively like the game, right? This is literally the exposure, the film exposure, right? So like this is fine, that's cool, but that's also way too blind. We could also say 0.5, right? And then here we have super moody, right? Super moody. This is like very dark. This is incredibly fucked. This shit sucks, yo. But we could also reverse these. The 3E. Helps if I do a minus call here. Oh. right? So this is very similar, right? Oh wait, I think it's literally the fucking same. Okay. But it shouldn't be because of associativity. Right? This should be fine. Right? This is nice and moody. Like, I kind of like how moody this is. Right? And then I can just increase the brightness of the lights and stuff. Because I can independently change. You know, I can change how much light is in there. I can change how much, you know. I can change a lot of different factors. But here we have, what happens if I turn on, turn off, yeah. Turn these things on and off. Yeah, there's a lot of screen tearing, which I'm not super thrilled with. It would be a lot less noticeable if I was leaning into the static a lot more, but Otter does have a huge point, and that is that with so much harsh static, it makes it a lot more difficult. It makes it so much harder to ow it makes it a lot more difficult to be okay with the it makes it a lot more difficult to be like okay with the playing the game for an extended period of time, right? It makes it much more difficult to like with the static too harsh. If the static is way too harsh, then it makes it a lot more abrasive. It makes it so that players can't really play the game for an extended period of time. And for the first one, that was fine, right? It only took about 2 minutes to get to the end, right? It only took about 2 minutes to find the thing, and then you know, and then from there you just backtrack. So it was pretty good. And this is the thing too, is that these choices are these kinds of choices, like because like why explore, why, right? Like why go to these new places, why do these things? Do I want to have like a do I want to have things? Because I can increase the exposure, I can increase the brightness. If I go back to the foreground, right, I can say 2. Right? Because like this is nice and bright. Right? This is nice and bright. But I also feel like the two things should be like literally fucking identical, right? I mean, in order to see the difference, I would have to have a top. So I think the way I would do that is if I had, I don't know, something. Because I would also need to have like a new keybind. I would need to have a bunch of extra shit. Yeah. Like there's a lot there that I don't really know, but it is I'm gonna be doing. Because again, like I need to have some kind of toggle. Right, I need some kind of toggle to toggle between the different kind of exposure types. I think this is the way that I want to do it. Because then I can just treat light as an additive source instead of having to try and have a strict gamut, right? Because I don't think I want to have a strict gamut. And I'm also not entirely sure if I want to have like the e to the minus col, or well, let's do let's do it. Fuck it. Ah, I don't like it. So is there? All right. Off to the fucking internet. Off to the internet. Let's rush off to the internet. Let's get, you know, love 2D. Well, actually, I think it should just be a Lua thing, right? Lua, Standard Lua does not support direct string interpolation. String format. Okay. Okay. G-sub. Mm-hmm. So will you backticks? the version used by Roblox. Roblox uses Lua, does a lot of 2D provide string interpolation. Right, because I don't think it does. I don't think it will. And that's fine. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. String interpolation is going to definitely be something that I absolutely will include. Now, Love2D does not provide a built-in... Yeah. Yeah, so it is just going to be a format. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it is a string format. And what we can do here is, because fuck this shit, I'm done with it, alright? What I want to do is I want to have, D. Alright. Because, like, I want to do new text, right? Instructions equals global. Yeah, because why am I doing all this shit, right? Like, right. So I have this. Yeah, we can get rid of that. What we want is the, what is it? So the first one is the fall off. Yeah, fall off. And then we could do, the next one is going to be the exposure. How am I doing shit? Yeah, okay, exposure. Let's do fucking plus minus equals minus, right? Or maybe period and comma. Let's do period slash comma, exposure D, right? Well, actually, no, not, F. And then we want to do, I'll just call it capital exposure, because fuck you, that's what, and then I'm gonna have to add it into the exposure. X exposure, right? And then GG Yeah, exposure is equal to. Oh fuck! This is a toggle exposure. Fuck. And then the toggle type. Oh. It's fine. It's fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. The main thing that I'm going to be dealing with is because I need both the actual toggle and I need the toggle and I need the toggle and the value. The exposure going up and down is important because that tells us right, that tells us how to oh. What the hell am I gonna call the variable? This is some fucking dark ass coffee, yo. What am I gonna call the variable? What am I gonna call this fucking thing? God, that's fucking dark. Oh. That is potent. It's just kind of the whole point. Yeah. So that you don't have to worry about your ears getting blasted. Crushing water bottles is loud. I mean, I guess I could literally lose everyone watching and go to the bathroom. Go take a tinkle. Like, how much more time do I want to spend on this today? Or do I just want to be done? I think I just want to be done. I think I want to be done. Well, yeah. See? So I do have those, and then I can change how that is done. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could do to change how it's actually formatting that, because I don't necessarily want that many zeros, because it's only... What? Fuck. God damn it. Alright, I'm gonna be... Yeah, I'm just gonna be done. I'm starting to run out of brain cells. So, thank you for stopping by, everyone who's watching, everyone who has watched, everyone who may or may not be watching. Thank you for stopping by, and all that stuff. Do I want to end, or do I want to go? Like, yeah. Do I want to rate it? I feel like I want to. Feel. And I feel. Does it feel like doing something? I feel like I feel like that would be rude if I rated into them. I have a lot more viewers than me. Even with that. It's not the right wheelhouse. Doubt that they're gonna allow for me. They'd be alone. Let's do you. Because, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to rate in.